ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. My respectful obeisances to all the devotees who have assembled for this special session on the glories of the holy name of Krishna. And I'm very grateful to be amongst all of you. This morning we have discussed the glories of holy name based on several scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Padyavali, Mukundamala Stotra, and few other places. So, and even in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also, Rupa Goswami writes that there are 64 limbs of devotional service, and out of these 64, 5 limbs are very potent. 5 limbs are very essential, and they're very helpful to uplift the consciousness of a sadhaka. So, in these 5 limbs, we see holy name is one of them. Srimad Bhagavatam, holy name of Krishna, Vaishnava Seva, and Dham Seva, and the worship of deities. So these 5 are potent limbs, and holy name is also there as a part. So give me 1 second. So the holy names of Krishna are non-different from Krishna. So Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and he has invested all his potencies in his form as the holy name, his holy name. So let us continue discussing the glories of holy name, where we left in the morning. Kalikale nama rupe Krishna avatara, nama haite haya sarva jagata nistara. In Kali Yuga, Lord Krishna appears in the form of holy name. Nama rupe Krishna avatar. Nama haite haya sarva jagata nistara. Only by the process of chanting of the holy names of the Lord, entire universe can be delivered. So this is the greatness of Krishna's name. And Lord Krishna appeared in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically to spread these holy names of the Lord. And he began this right from his birth, right from his childhood. When he was a small child, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai, as baby Nimai, he would cry, and the neighboring ladies would come and chant Hari Hari. Then only he will stop crying. Otherwise, he will not stop crying. Hari Hari Bale Loka Harashita Haya Janmila Chaitanya Prabhu Nama Janmiya. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made his appearance when everyone was chanting Hari Hari, Krishna Krishna. So, and as a small child, again he induced the ladies around him to chant the holy names of the Lord. So, our scriptures say that Nama Chintamanihi Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinnatvan Nama Naminoho. Nama Chintamani Krishna. So Krishna Nama is like a Chintamani. So holy name is transcendently blissful and it bestows all kinds of spiritual boons, and it's Chintamani, it's a reservoir of all great pleasure. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. And this holy name of Krishna, which is non-different from Krishna, is the form of all rasas. So devotees in all rasas who connect with Krishna, who serve Krishna, relish calling out Krishna's names. Right? Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto. So Krishna is complete, Purna, and Shuddha. He is absolutely devoid of any material contamination. Nitya Mukto, eternal. Right? Nitya, Mukta, liberated, never comes under material conditions. Abhinnatvan Nama Naminaha. Just like Krishna is transcendental, Krishna's name is also transcendental because there is no difference between Nama and Nami. Means the person and the name of the person. There is no difference between these two. Okay. So this is the glory of Krishna's name. Further, in the Padyavali there is this beautiful shloka. Yoga Shrutyupapatti Nirjanavana Dhyanadhasam Bhavita Swarajyam Pratipadya Nirbhayamami Mukta Bhavantu Dvijah Asmakam Tu Kadamba Kunja Kuhara Pronmila Dindivara Shrenishyamaladhama Nama Jushatam Janmastu Lakshavadhi. Yoga Shrutyupapatti Nirjanavana Dhyanadha Sambhavita. Here, this shloka makes a comparison between devotees who relish holy name of Krishna and other spiritual practitioners who may absorb their minds in jnana, yoga, etc. So Yoga Shrutyupapatti Nirjanavana. So yoga, some people are fixed up in their yoga, dhyana yoga, ashtanga yoga. Shruti, some people get fixed up in Vedic study, hearing scriptures, Shruti scriptures. And Nirjanavana, Dhyana Dhasambhavita. Nirjanavana, Vana means forest. Nirjana means people don't dwell in that forest. So people may enter solitary forests and do some meditation in the forest. And they may study Vedas, they may do Ashtanga Yoga. Let them do so. We have no problem, right? Swarajyam Pratipadya Nirbhayamami Mukta Bhavantu Dvijah. So let those Brahmanas, let those people may become Mukta. They let them get liberated by following the Yoga path or Shruti path. But as far as devotees are concerned, their glory and their relish is not in Yoga and Shruti and Dhyana or Nirjana Vana. Asmakam tu kadamba kunja kuhara pronmila dindivara. Asmakam means we devotees of Krishna. We take great pleasure in chanting the holy names of Krishna. And that Krishna's form is beautifully described here. So kadamba kunja kuhara pronmila dindivara. So Krishna's splendid dark complexion and yellow garments are similar to some hosts of blue lotuses blooming in a grove of yellow kadamba bearing trees. It's like, imagine there's a nice water reservoir. In that lake, there are blue lotuses growing, and around this lake where kadamba trees and kadamba pollen and kadamba flowers fall around these blue lotuses. So blue and yellow. It looks so nice, right? That's what he says. Asmakam tu kadamba kunja kuhara pronmila dindivara. So that is the beauty of Krishna. While chanting the holy name of Krishna, devotee gets absorbed in the beautiful form of Krishna. Right? So Sreni Shyamala Dhama Nama Jushatam Janmastu Lakshavadhi. So we will spend Janmastu Lakshavadhi. Laksha means 1 lakh. Right? We will spend lakhs of our janmas, lakhs and crores of our births, lifetimes in chanting the holy name of Krishna. Dhama Nama, Shriyani Shyamala Dhama, Nama Jushatam. That Supreme Lord who is splendid in his beautiful form as Krishna, chants the holy. We relish chanting of the holy name of that Krishna who is so beautiful. For thousands of births, we will just spend time chanting his holy names. We don't need any other better engagement. Okay. So this is the preference of a devotee. Of all the processes of devotional service, definitely chanting of the holy name of the Lord has a very, very special position. Right? Yes, Shravanam is first, no doubt about that. Unless we hear the glories of Krishna Nama, how can we be inspired to chant Krishna Nama? So Shravanam comes first. So, but we should not stop at hearing. We should get into the practice of chanting. Right? And this Shravanam followed by Kirtanam together will lead to Smaranam, always remembering Krishna. How can we remember Krishna without sufficiently knowing Krishna and then speaking about Krishna or chanting his names? Right? Smaranam becomes an automatic result or byproduct, or the main product, not byproduct, the main product or the result of effective Shravanam and Kirtan. Right? So now, morning also we were discussing something similar. Patitah skhalito bhagnah sandashtastapta ahatah harir ityava senaha puman narhati yatanah. Patitah skhalito bhagnah. When a person is walking on the street, he may fall down, he may trip, he may break his limbs, he may break his head. So in all these circumstances, accidentally if someone says Rama, Krishna, Mukunda, Hey Govinda, even if he partially chants the names of the Lord, they become purified. So this comes mainly in the conversation between Chand Kazi and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And especially the discussion between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Haridas Thakur. Mahaprabhu once became so concerned. How can people be delivered? They are so sinful. They are absorbed in materialistic activities. What is the hope for them? How can they be liberated from this material entanglement? Then our Haridas Thakur says, my dear Lord, don't worry. Prabhupada says very beautifully that a great devotee consoles the Lord, comforts the Lord, pacifies the Lord, encourages and reassures the Lord. Lord is so anxious about the safety of conditioned souls. A pure devotee consoles the Lord and encourages him, saying that, don't worry, my dear Lord, I am there next to you to help my fallen brothers, siblings to come back to connect with you. So Haridas Thakur is encouraging Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says that, don't worry, your holy name will protect all these people. Right? I will inspire them to chant the holy names. And in fact, you have descended personally to inspire everyone to chant the holy names. So just by namabhas means, namabhas means not pure chanting, but almost pure chanting. It resembles pure chanting. So just by namabhas, even unintentionally chanting the holy names of the Lord without any offenses, one can be completely purified, O Lord. So then Mahaprabhu says, okay, fine. Incidental chanting, accidental chanting, unintentional chanting also will purify people, whether we understand that. But what about immovable things? What about non-human beings who cannot chant? Then Haridas Thakur says, don't worry, my dear Lord. When devotees chant the holy names of the Lord loudly, then immovable living beings and non-human beings hear that vibration and they get purified. The best example is when you were traveling in Jharkhand forest. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling in Jharkhand forest, some tigers came in front of him. And Balabhadra Bhattacharya, which is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's assistant, he became so scared. He was very fearful. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went forward and kicked the tiger. Tiger, chant Hare Krishna. Chant Govinda. The tiger chanted Krishna, Krishna. Mahaprabhu became very happy. And Balabhadra Bhattacharya was so surprised. Then Mahaprabhu went ahead and he entered a lake to take bath, a river. Then some big elephants came to take bath. Balabhadra Bhattacharya became so afraid. Oh, elephants are there. You know what Mahaprabhu did? He splashed some water on the elephants and told them, chant Krishna, Krishna. and the elephants chanted Krishna, Krishna. Okay. So like this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is inducing even animals also to chant Krishna, Krishna. So then Mahaprabhu induces deers and parrots and peacocks and rabbits and everyone to chant Hare Krishna. Monkeys, they were all chanting with him. So even tigers and deer, they were embracing each other and chanting the holy names of the Lord. Okay, so they were kissing each other. so much love and affection between tiger and deer. Did you ever see that? Of course, we cannot imitate Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and go and kick a tiger to make him chant. Mahaprabhu can do that. But Mahaprabhu induced everyone to chant. And when Mahaprabhu was chanting and all these animals were chanting, there was resound in the forest. That resound was the chanting of the trees. Haridas Thakur said that the trees would chant. Trees are also chanting. Immovable living entities also chant. So my dear Lord, by your presence, by the presence of your devotees, when they chant, they benefit everyone. So we chant for our benefit. And when we loudly chant, other living beings are also benefited. We may be sitting in our room with all closed doors and chanting. Some ants or some insects or some flies in some corner of the room, they get purified by hearing the chanting, right? So loud chanting by devotees and of course directly by the Supreme Lord will certainly purify other living beings also. So, Nama Vinu Kalikale Nahiyara Dharma Sarva Mantra Sara Nama Yei Shastra Marma Krishna Nama Yeyananda Sindhu Aswadam Brahmananda Tara Age Khato Dakasam. So, Nama Vinu Kalikale Nahiyara Dharma. In Kali Yuga, there is no other dharma than chanting the holy names of God. Sarva Mantra Sara Nama. So, Krishna's name is the essence of all mantras, all shastras. Yei Shastra Varma. All shastras are saying this only, right? Krishna Nama Yeyananda Sindhu Aswadam. So, the relish that a devotee finds in chanting the holy name of Krishna. Krishna Nama Yei Ananda Sindhu Aswadana. Ananda is bliss, happiness. Sindhu means ocean. Aswadana means to relish. So, a devotee relishes the process of chanting the holy names of Krishna. For such a devotee who is relishing Krishna Nama, even Brahmananda is useless. He is being immersed in an ocean of Bhaktiyananda or Namananda. So, in comparison to that, even Brahmananda becomes insignificant. The bliss of Brahman. So, this is the glory of Krishna's name. So, we'll move ahead. Bhagavatam. Morning we were discussing, right, how Bhagavatam is glorified. Bhagavatam is glorifying holy name everywhere, practically in every canto, and from beginning till end, and in the middle also. So, first canto, it says, Apannaha samsritim ghoram yannam avivasho grinam tataha sadyo vimuchyeta yadbibheti swayam bhayam. So, Apannaha samsritim ghoram yannam avivasho grinam. Even if someone chants the holy name of the Lord unconsciously, tataha sadyo vimuchyeta, such a person can easily be delivered, liberated. Yet bibheti swayam bhayam, even bhayam, even fear personified becomes fearful of chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Right? So, Krishna Nama chases away all fears, chases away all the Yamadutas. Right? Ajamil is the best example. And Bhagavad Gita also says, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. And Bhagavatam in the second canto says, Etan nirvidyamananam ichhatam akuto bhayam yoginam nrupanirnetam harer namanu kirtanam. Etan nirvidyamananam ichhatam akuto bhayam. If at all you want to be freed from all fears of material existence, what are we supposed to do? What is the advice given to us by great yogis? Yoginam Rupa Nirnitam. What is that? Harer Namanu Kirtanam. So to chant the holy names of Lord Hari is the best solution given to all of us by great yogis, by great sages. So in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, even in third canto also it's there. Third canto, you see Devahuti's episode. What did she say? Aho bata swapato cho gariyan Yad jihvagre vartate nama tubhyam. The one who is chanting the holy names of the Lord must have completed all the all processes of devotional service. Right? I'm sorry, all Vedic rituals. He has surpassed all the sacrifices and Vedic studies and many other things. Right? So this is the glory of chanting. Now in the fourth canto of Bhagavatam, you know the story where Dhruva Maharaj was fighting with the Yakshas. Dhruva's brother Uttama was killed by a Yaksha, and Dhruva Maharaj went to fight with the Yakshas. And all the Yakshas, 1,30,000 Yakshas came to fight with Dhruva. So during this fight, at one moment, the Yakshas could not fight with Dhruva in a straightforward manner. So they took to creating some illusions, demonic illusions. And Dhruva was completely bewildered. Then, to come out of this bewilderment, Dhruva was helped by some sages. So several great sages came, and they chanted the holy names of the Lord. And they reminded Dhruva of Narayana, about Narayanastra. And Dhruva chanted Narayana and picked up Narayanastra, and with the mantra of Narayana, he just released that Narayanastra, and the Narayanastra dispelled all the illusions. Now there's an important lesson in this whole episode. So Dhruva was confused and bewildered in this current situation, where he could not do much to counteract the illusions created by the Yakshas. So Dhruva Maharaj, when he was in bewilderment, who came to his rescue? The devotees of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord came to Dhruva to help him. And how did they help? By reminding him of the holy name of Krishna. So, when we receive the holy name of Krishna through the devotees of Krishna, we can come out of all the bewilderments and illusions. Right? Association of devotees and chanting the holy names of the Lord and discussing Krishna Katha in that association is the most effective way of leading spiritual life. Further, you see Hanumanji. Recently, we celebrated Ramanavami and we were discussing Sundarakanda. So in that, we see that Hanumanji went to Lanka and found Sita Devi in Ashoka Vatika. And the first thing that Hanumanji did, as soon as he met Sita Devi, was chanting the holy names of Ram, reminding Ram's pastimes to Mother Sita, glorifying Lord Ramachandra. Kirtana, he did Kirtana. So Hanumanji was acting like a devotee or a guru who takes the holy name of the Lord, who takes the message of the Lord to a suffering person who is separated from the Lord. Right? So this is the glory. So the Guru's first instruction to a disciple is to chant the holy names of the Lord. Right? So no compromise in this one instruction, chanting the holy names of the Lord. So we take vow, we'll chant 16 rounds, minimum 16 rounds every single day. Right? So that's the first service to Guru. That's the first connection to Krishna. So now in the 6th canto of Bhagavatam, 5th canto also glorifies holy name. And I did not put all the shlokas. 6th canto. You know, 6th canto popular holy name related episode is Ajamil episode. Mriyamano Harernama Granan Putropacharitam Ajamilopya Gadhama Kimuta Shraddhaya Granan. So morning we discussed this somewhat similar. So if Ajamil has chanted this to indicate his son without faith at the time of death with a sinful background, and ultimately he is given mercy of the Lord, what to speak of a person who enthusiastically chants the holy names of the Lord with devotion, with faith, without any sins. Right? So, Kimuta Shraddhaya Granan, what will happen if you chant with faith? Okay. So, in the 8th canto, we see Mantratas Tantratas Chidram Deshakala Arhavastutah Sarvam Karoti Nischidram Anusankirtanam Tava Mantrataha Tantratah Chidram Deshakalartha Vastutah. When one is performing so many rituals and many other vratas or yagyas, etc., worship, there may be some discrepancies in desha, kala, and vastu. The paraphernalia that you might use may not be perfect. The timing may not be perfect sometimes. The place may not be perfect. But sarvam karoti nischidram anusankirtanam tava. Everything that is inauspicious or some drawbacks or shortcomings can completely be vanquished to the degree we chant the holy names of the Lord. Anusankirtanam tava. So we may do some ritual or some puja, but at the end or in the beginning or during the puja also, when we chant the holy names of the Lord, that will nullify all the shortcomings that we have. Aparadha sahasrani kriyante harnisham maya dasoham iti mam matva kshamasva madhusudana. You chant the name Madhusudana, please destroy all the shortcomings that I must have displayed. Please help me overcome these shortcomings and please forgive me for my shortcomings. So like that, chanting of the holy names of the Lord will attract the attention of the Lord. The Lord will think that, oh, he's calling me out. Even if the person who is uttering the name may not have that intention to call out the Lord, still the Lord will imagine that he's calling me. Because that imagination comes out of his compassion, his mercy. The Lord wants to find some reason, direct or indirect, to show some mercy on all of us. So that mercy of the Lord is our hope. Right? So to attract that mercy, we need to constantly chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when you call somebody's name, you are attracting that person's attention, right? He's busy somewhere. Say somebody's name is say Govinda. Govinda, come here. You're just he's busy with something, but still you're calling. That means you are seeking his attention, right? So you take out somebody's name and you call out someone's name repeatedly, seeking attention, isn't it? So now when you are constantly chanting Krishna, 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 we are seeking Krishna's attention. And Krishna will give us attention, right? To the degree we attentively call. Somebody is just working, doing something, and then you casually go, Krishna. Then he may not pay so much heed because we are not serious in calling out. But when you are calling out repeatedly, loudly, attentively, indicating that person has to give attention, right? Even if you are a stranger to that person, they will give attention. Even if you don't have so much of work, they will give attention, right? So how much attention Krishna will give? So to attract Krishna's attention, the best way is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Now we'll directly go to the 12th canto, last chapter, last shloka, conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nama sankirtanam yasya sarva papa pranashanam pranamo dukkha shamanah tam namami harim param. Nama sankirtanam yasya sarva papa pranashanam. All papas, all sinful reactions and sinful proclivities are completely destroyed by Nama Sankirtana. Pranamo dukkha shamanaha. All dukkhas means all the difficulties and distresses are completely vanquished. Tam namami harim param. Let us offer obeisances to that Lord Hari, who can steal all our distresses. So now we have discussed so much about Krishna Nama. But Krishna's names are often chanted, are always chanted, along with his devotees. The supreme devotee of Krishna is Srimati Radharani. Now comes the most nectarian part of our discussion today. So, I recently learned this shloka. This is from Raghunath Das Goswami. Radheti nama navasundara sindhu sidhu mugdham Krishneti nama madhuradhuta gadha dugdham sarvakshanam surabhiraga himena ramyam kritva tadeva pibame rasanekshudarte. This is a very sweet shloka written by Raghunath Das Goswami. First line speaks about Radharani's name. Second line speaks about Krishna's name. And third line speaks about our eagerness to chant their names. And the fourth line speaks about the result of chanting the name of Radha and Krishna together eagerly. Right? Let's get into the meaning. When we're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we are doing this one. We are addressing Radha and Krishna. Okay. So let's see the meaning of this shloka. Radheti nama navasundara sidhu mugdham. Srimati Radharani's name is a very delicious nectarian sound, right? So it's so sweet and so nectarian. Sundara, beautiful. Sidhu means nectar. Mugdham, very delicious. So sometimes when you eat something very tasty, you get into ecstasy, right? Mugdham, one may get absorbed in relishing the taste. So similarly, when someone says Radha, then that is like sweet nectar and one can relish it. What about Krishna's name? Krishneti nama madhura adhuta gadha dugdham. Krishneti nama, the name Krishna is madhura, very sweet, adbhuta, wonderful. Gadha dugdham means condensed milk. Dugdham is milk, gadha is condensed milk. So Krishna's name is like condensed milk, Radha's name is like condensed nectar. So mix pure milk with pure nectar. Say honey, for example. You mix condensed milk with honey. It's so tasty, right? So we should mix something more here. Sarvakshanam surabhiraga himena ramyam. We need to mix it with the fragrant eyes of our pure love, right? So surabhiraga is pure love, attachment that we have for Radha and Krishna. That is like eyes. Hima is eyes. Ramyam, very beautiful. So when nectarian Radha's name and condensed milk like Krishna's name is mixed with our pure love, which is like ice, it becomes cold, sweet beverage. Okay. Sweet, Prabhupada says, sweetness can be taken, has to be taken when it's cold. It's very tasty, right? So our love is like Hima, ice, not the freeze-well ice. Hima is like natural ice. Okay. So how can Raghunath Das Goswami give this kind of example? Nowadays, to make something cool, we put in fridge or we put some ice cubes there, which are coming out of fridge. But this Hima is like natural snow, natural ice. Okay. So nectar, condensed milk, and ice, you mix. Kritvata deva pibame rasane kshudarthe. Kshudarthe, rasane. Rasana refers to the tongue. Kshudarthe means it's very thirsty. Oh, tongue that is suffering from thirst. Please drink this. When you are very thirsty, somebody gives you some apple milkshake or amras, which is very cool, especially in GEV. The sun is very hot in May season, so we get drenched in sweat. So somewhere in the afternoon, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, you're feeling very hot. Someone gives you some cold milkshake or cold amras. So that relieves you from that summer heat, at least for that moment, right? So the tongue, which is very thirsty because of summer heat of material existence and Kali Yuga, tormentation. So if the tongue gets to chant the holy name of Krishna and Radha, then that relieves that person completely, right? So how long we should we drink this? Say in summer, we can drink every day. But in winter, we cannot drink every day, right? If you winter every day, you keep drinking cold juice, then it is really difficult. Then your throat will have some problem. You can't give lectures, right? You get cold. But this one doesn't cause cold. Although it has milk, condensed milk, it doesn't cause indigestion. Although it has condensed nectar, it doesn't cause any digestion problems. Although it has ice, it doesn't cause cold. Right? You can drink this beverage of Radha Krishna's name forever. Kritva tadeva pibame rasane kshudartha. You keep drinking it every moment. This is Raghunath Das Goswami's shloka. So further, another shloka is there. Vishnor namaiva pumsaha शमलमपहरत् पुण्यमुत्पादयच्च ब्रह्मादिस्थान भोगात् विरतिमथ गुरोः श्रीपदद्वन्द्वभक्तिं तत्त्वज्ञानं च विष्णोर् इह मृतिचरण भ्रांति बीजं च दग्ध्वा संपूर्णानंद बोधे महति च पुरुषं स्थापयित्वा निवृत्तम्. So this shloka says that Vishnor namaiva pumsam shamalam apaharat punyam utpadayitcha. Lord Vishnu's holy name can completely remove all sin of all the living beings. Shamalam apaharat. Apaharam means you steal it. Shamalam means mala, contamination or sin. Right? Everything is stolen. Punyam utpadayitcha. It will also give piety, not material piety that takes us to Swargaloka. Spiritual piety that takes us to Goloka. The piety that we get by chanting Krishna's names is not ordinary material piety. Right? So whenever punya comes in relationship with holy name, that is not ordinary punya. You need to understand it. Take it for granted. Brahmadisthana bhogat virati matha guroh shripadadvandva bhaktim. So people may aspire to go to heaven. Some people may aspire to go to higher planets like Tapoloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, or Satyaloka, Brahmaloka directly. Some people may even aspire to take the position of Brahma also. Okay, but by chanting Krishna's name, we become disinterested even in Brahma's position. Who wanted to become Brahma? Who wanted to take the position of Brahma? Who wanted to take the position superior to Brahma? Dhruva. Dhruva wanted to become greater than Brahma. But after chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya for 6 months, Dhruva Maharaj felt that I was desiring some broken pieces of glasses, but Krishna has given me real diamonds. So Krishna Nama is diamond, Brahma's position is broken pieces of glass. So did you see the comparison here? So we keep running behind material pleasures, name, fame, prestige. Even in devotional circles also, we sometimes keep hankering for name, fame, position, prestige, money, many other things, control over people, control over resources. So this is a very unhealthy state of doing sadhana. Yes, as a service, one may have to do things. Control also can become a service sometimes. You have to control resources, control manpower, etc. But for a good purpose to serve the Lord. But if someone specifically hankers, desires for such kind of control, then one is not taking full benefit of the process of bhakti yoga. So here, if we sincerely chant the holy names of Krishna, Brahmadisthana bhogat viratim. Rati means attraction, virati means no attraction. We will not have attraction to even Brahmadisthana. Brahmasthana means position of Brahma. Brahmadisthana means something like that. It could be Indrasthana, it could be Chandrasthana, it could be Maharloka, Janaloka, any sthana in this entire creation. So you see, the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that predominantly talks about cosmology, it speaks about the topic of sthana. Sthana means position. Positioning various living beings according to their desires and proclivities. That is sthana. There are 10 topics in Bhagavatam, right? Everybody knows. Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshanam, Mudya, etc. etc. Sthanam is the geography of the universe, positioning different living beings in their respective places. So, any sthana in this material universe is useless for a devotee. He is not interested in that sthana. If it gives that person an opportunity to do some service to the Lord, he will accept all sthanas. Okay, but he doesn't accept any sthana, any position, just for the enjoyment of that position, right? So Brahmadi sthana bhogat viratim. He doesn't want to enjoy the exalted post of Brahma. Then this happens by chanting the holy names of the Lord. Disinterest in Brahma's position and interest in what? Atha guroh Shri Padadvandva Bhaktim. He becomes interested to worship the lotus feet of Guru, right? Tattvajnanam cha Vishnor ihamriti janana bharanti bijam cha dadva. Tattvajnanam cha Vishnor. By chanting the holy names of the Lord, we also get the Tattva Gnana, the philosophical, transcendental, spiritual knowledge about the Supreme Lord. Murti Janana, Iha Murti Jananam Bharanki Bijam Jabha. So the Bija means seed. Seed of what? Seed of Murti and Janana, birth and death. The seed of material existence, the seed for the cycle of birth and death, which is material desire, is completely destroyed by chanting the holy names of the Lord. Chant Hare Krishna sincerely, then one doesn't have to take repeated birth in this material world. Further, Sampurnananda Bodhe Mahati cha Purusham Sthapayitva Nivrittam. Sampurna Ananda Bodhe, holy name of Krishna can give us complete bliss, complete ananda. So these are the glories of holy name. In fact, it is easier to glorify holy name than chant holy name, right? So we can observe our minds. Like 1 hour we are discussing the glories of the holy name. So we can be focused on all these beautiful shlokas and pastimes of Bhagavatam. But 1 hour if you have to chant, mind can go here and there 100 times. Morning we were discussing that, right? That's why engaging mind in Krishna's service is more difficult than engaging intelligence in Krishna's service. Engaging intelligence in Krishna's service is more difficult than engaging senses in Krishna's service. So physical activities, physical service is very easy in comparison to intellectual service. You have to plan, scheme. So you, for example, Janmashtami festival is coming up and some 10 people formed a committee and then they were discussing what all arrangements we need to make. Now COVID has become over, COVID is over. Many people, thousands of people may come. Last couple of years, we could not celebrate Janmashtami properly. Not many people have gathered. So now so many people will come. Many arrangements have to be made. So you use your intelligence to plan, to scheme, to make all arrangements for Janmashtami festival. And you have 5 hours meeting. You can be attentive in that 5 hours meeting. You may get spaced out a little bit here and there, but overall you can be attentive. At least 4 hours and 5 hours you can be attentive. But 5 hours chanting continuously, God, mind becomes crazy, right? Continuous 5 hours chanting, at least 500 times we will get distracted. At least 5,000 times we get distracted. I can get distracted 5 lakh times also, right? So mind, because we are operating on the level of mind. Although intelligence is higher than mind in the hierarchy given in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, engaging mind in Krishna service is on a higher level than engaging intelligence in Krishna service. So all these people put their thoughts in the meeting and plan for the Janmashtami festival nicely. So they use their intelligence. But these people are doing more effort, are putting more effort in comparison to people who are actually working on the ground level, right? So they have discussed this has to be done, 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 and they delegate this one little portion to a team of devotees. You take care of temple hall arrangements. Another team of devotees, you take care of prasadam arrangements, prasadam distribution. You take care of cooking. So those who are on the ground level focusing their senses in Krishna's service, it becomes very easy for them. Someone has used the intelligence, I will just operate the senses. That's easy. So operating senses in Krishna's service is much easier. And engaging intelligence is a little difficult, studying Shastra and all that. And engaging mind is most difficult, right? That's why one who absorbs one's mind in Krishna's service, one who develops that emotions for Krishna is the highest devotee, is the greatest devotee. So someone who does some seva to Krishna physically, right, may not think of Krishna always. I'm speaking about sadhakas. We are not speaking about Vrajavasis. Vrajavasis can engage their body, mind, intelligence, everything in Krishna's service in a perfect, exemplary manner. But we are talking about sadhakas, who are struggling sadhakas, who sleep, doze off during japa, who get distracted during meetings, or who get deviated while doing physical service. We are speaking about sadhakas. So we need to engage everything, body, mind, and intelligence, all 3 things in Krishna's service as much as possible, right? As much as our bandwidth goes. So I was trying to make some point and I just got. Anyways, we'll come back. So when we are trying to address Krishna in relationship with his devotees, Krishna becomes very, very excited. Okay. So there is one glorification of Krishna in relation to Radharani. What was that? Radha Radhita Radhesha Radhika Pranavallabha Radha Ramana Vande Tvam Radhika Prema Nirjita. This is spoken by Sanatana Goswami in Krishna Leelastana. Radha Radhita Radhesha. Now, this is a glorification of Krishna. Krishna word doesn't come here. Only Radha is there throughout the shloka. Radha Aradhita. Radha is Radharani. Aradhita means one who is worshipped by Radha. Who is that? Krishna. So Radha Aradhita is one name of Krishna. Radhesha, another name of Krishna. Okay. He is the master or he is the husband or he is the lord of Radharani. Radhika Pranavallabha, third name of Krishna in connection with Radha. He is the master of the life of Radharani, Pranavallabha. She considers him as her life and soul. Fourth, Radha Ramana Vandetvam. Let me offer obeisances to Radha Ramana, one who enjoys with Radharani and one who gives supreme enjoyment to Radharani. Then fifth name, Radhika Prema Nirjita. So he is conquered by the love of Radha. Radhika Prema Nirjita. So when you address Krishna in relationship with his devotees, Krishna becomes very excited, very happy. Okay. So now, anyways, we have come to Radhani. Let's try to meditate on the name of Radharani also a little bit. Okay. This is from Prabodhananda Saraswati from Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi. Very sweet shloka. Radha Nama Sudharasam Rasayitam Jihvastu me Vihvala Padau Tatpadakantika Sucharitam Vrindata Vivithishu Tatkarmaiva Karah Karotu Hrudayam Tasya Padam Dhyayatat Tadbhavotsavatat Param Bhavatu me Tat Prananathe Rati Radha Nama Sudha Rasayitum Rasam Rasayitum Jihvastu me Vihvala. Let my tongue relish the name of Srimati Radharani. Means when we say Hare, 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 so let us relish that. Okay. So Pado Tat Padikantikashu Charitam Vrindatavi Vithishu. So while we are traveling in the forests of Vrindavan, on the pathways of Vrindavan, so let us relish the glory of Srimati Radharani. Let us remember the lotus feet of Radharani. So like that, this beautiful shloka describes Tat karmaiva karaha karotu hridayam tasya padam dhyayatat. While I engage my hands in serving Srimati Radharani and her beloved Lord Krishna, let me always meditate upon her. Then tad bhavotsavataha param bhavatumi tat prananathi ratihi. So let us follow in her footsteps and let's have some rati towards her prananatha Krishna. It's a little esoteric also, very deeper meaning. Yes, we have discussed the basic meaning. So in this way, when you address Krishna in relationship with Krishna's devotees, especially Radharani, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, that specifically gives us the attention from Krishna. So now, in all this discussion, we should also understand that our chanting of the holy names of Krishna should be devoid of offenses. Okay? So there are 10 offenses, everybody knows, everybody chants. So first offense, foremost offense is offense to devotees. When we offend other devotees, when we criticize them and blaspheme them unnecessarily, sometimes to correct somebody, you may give a feedback that is with an intention to help the devotee, if you are really in that position and you have that responsibility. But unnecessary gossip about a devotee and demeaning another devotee, disrespecting another devotee, criticizing, so that really hurts Krishna. Aparadha means an activity that is done against Radharani's pleasure. Aparadha. When you are offending a devotee, we are doing Vaishnava aparadha, Radharani feels bad. Okay, so that is aparadha. So she is aradhita. She does aradhana, best aradhana of Krishna. Now from Radha comes our bhakti, right? So when we are doing aradhana of Krishna, we are following the footsteps of Radha. But when we are doing aparadha to devotees, we are hurting her. So we should avoid aparadha, but we should do aradhana. So aradhana should be our activity, not aparadha. So we should not go against Srimati Radharani. So one offense is Vaishnava aparadha. If you go down in your 10 offenses, you come to the stage of come to the 7th offense. That is chanting the holy names with an intention to commit more sinful activities, or with an intention to nullify one's sinful reactions. Two flavors of 7th offense. Okay. So Ajamil chanted the holy names of the Lord, but he did not chant to eradicate his sinful reactions, isn't it? Ajamil chanted the holy names of the Lord, but he did not commit any sinful activities on the strength of his chanting. Okay. So now somebody chants after committing a sin, thinking that, okay, this chanting will remove my sin. Or somebody chants after committing a sin, before committing a sin, thinking that, anyways, I'm chanting later, right? This holy name will take. So consciously, one should not commit any sinful activities. Accidentally, something may happen, and by chanting the holy names of the Lord, one will get forgiveness of the Lord. But if someone intentionally commits a sin, hoping that holy name will purify a person, that is an offense to holy name. So Ajamil did not commit these two sinful activities. He never committed a sin thinking that chanting will destroy that, or he never chanted to eradicate the sinful reactions. Okay, no future sin or no committing of sin on the strength of one's past chanting. No chanting now to destroy the offenses committed in the past. Right. So these two offenses he did not do. So that's why actually his chanting and his sins are going on parallelly without connecting with each other. So now we are discussing so many glories of the holy name of the Lord. So discussion of glories of holy name should ultimately lead us to chanting the holy names attentively and as seriously as possible. But the discussion on the glories of the holy name should not prompt us and encourage us to chant offensively. Right? So many times we have discussed in these 2 sessions that holy name can destroy all sins. Right? All the patakas are destroyed. So many times we have discussed similar slokas. So that should not encourage us to commit more sinful activities. Oh, holy name is so glorious. I can do anything. I can get rid of everything by chanting the holy name. That is not the end of the holy name discussion, seminar, or whatever. That is not the end. The end result is if holy name can clean sinful reactions, why should I give that kind of activity, that kind of service to the holy name? Okay, I should serve the holy name. I should not take service from the holy name. How can I use holy name as a wiping cloth to wipe away all my sinful reactions? Okay. So I should worship the holy name. I should relish the holy name. Okay. I should serve the holy name. So one who chants the holy name of the Lord will not go to hell. So Yamaraj tells Yamadutas, he says, Jihvana Bhakti Bhagavad Gunana Madheyam Chetaschana Smarati Taccharanara Vindam Krishnaya no namati yachira ekadapi tananavadhamasato krita Vishnu Krityan. Jihvana Bhakti Bhagavad Gunana Madheyam, one who does not chant the holy names of the Lord or glorify the qualities of the Lord, they should be taken to hell. Yamaraj is instructing the Yamadutas to put this protocol, policy of hell on the notice board, visible everywhere, in all the planetary systems, all the hellish planets. So this notice has to be displayed everywhere. One who chants the holy names should not be brought to hell. Okay. Next point is Chetaschana Smarati Taccharanara. One who remembers the Lord should not go to hell. And Krishna, namati yat chiraye kadapi, one who offers obeisances to Krishna will not go to hell. Right? One who do not do these three things, one who does not do these three things should go to hell. So there are so many glories, but I would like to sing Kevalashtakam. But I am going to skip some slides now. Okay. Madhuram madhurebhyopi mangalebhyopi mangalam pavanam pavanebhyopi harer namaiva kevalam. Madhuram madhurebhyopi. We already discussed in the morning. Holy name is sweeter than all sweet things. Mangalebhyopi mangalam. Holy name is most auspicious amongst all the auspicious things. Pavanam pavanebhyopi. Holy name is the greatest purifier of all purifying things. Harer namaiva kevalam. Therefore chant only holy name of the Lord, Hari. Abrahmhastambha paryantam sarvam mayamayam jagat. Satyam satyam punah satyam harer namaiva kevalam. Abrahmhastambha paryantam, the entire universe, right from exalted Brahma in the Satyaloka down to a lump of grass. Everything in this material world is under Maya, is a product of Maya. Abrahmhastambha paryantam sarvam mayamayam jagat. This material universe is filled with Maya. Sarvam mayamayam jagat. Satyam satyam punah satyam harer namaiva kevalam. Satyam, it is reality, it is the truth, it is the eternal truth. The holy name of Hari is the only deliverer, only liberator. Take shelter of holy name. Fine. Third shloka. Saguru sapi sapita chapi samata bandhavopi sa sikshayete chet sada smartum harer namaiva kevalam. Sa guru, sa pita chapi, sa mata bandhavopi saha. Who is a guru? Who is pita, father? Who is mata? Who is a mother? Who is bandhava? Who is a relative or a true friend? One who teaches us to chant the holy name of Krishna. Sikshayet chet sada smartum harer namaiva kevalam. One who teaches us that you should always remember the holy names of the Lord. You should always chant the holy names of the Lord. Someone who teaches us how to chant Hare Krishna is the best friend. He is qualified to be mother, or father, or friend, or guru. Right? That is the right guru. Then fourth shloka. Nishvasena hi visvasa kadaruddho bhavishyati kirtaniya mato balya harer namaiva kevalam. So nishvase nahi visvasa. Nishvasa, your breathing. The air that comes into the nostrils and goes out of the nostrils, that breathing process can stop at any moment. So nishvase nahi vishvasaha. Now that you are breathing and living, don't keep vishvasa on this nishvasa. Means don't trust, don't believe that you will live forever. Don't believe that the breath in your nostrils will stay forever. Don't believe that the pranavayus inside your body will maintain your body forever. It doesn't happen like that. So don't keep trust on this body. Anytime your breath must stop. Abruptly it can stop. Kada ruddho bhavishyati kirtaniya mato balya harer namaiva kevalam. So we should, there is no certainty when will the last birth appear. It can abruptly appear and can stop all our material plans. Therefore, wise people should always practice chanting of the holy name. From when? Kirtanaya mato balyat. from the Balyavastha, from childhood only one should chant the holy names of the Lord. So all parents should teach their children to chant the holy names of the Lord with great pleasure, not in a forceful manner. Children should not see chanting as a punishment. So if the parents become very aggressive and forcefully make children chant, the parents do that, the children, innocent kids, they might perceive this chanting as a punishment. So children observe elders and learn more. So they learn more by observing than by hearing. Of course, they learn by hearing also, but when they observe, they catch better. So when the parents are genuinely taking pleasure in chanting the holy names of the Lord without neglecting the children, of course, right? So not that the parents are just constantly chanting and neglected the children, they don't give any attention. So that also has to be balanced. So, but when the elders are nicely taking pleasure in different devotional activities and inspire the children, so from childhood, when they take to this devotional culture, so their life will become perfect. Right? Harer Nama. Next. Hari Sadava Shetatra Yatra Bhagavata Jana Gayanti Bhakti Bhavena Harer Namaiva Kevalam. So wherever devotees are chanting the holy names of the Lord, the Supreme Lord Hari stays there. Hari eternally dwells in that place where devotees are singing his glories. Therefore, let us chant the holy names of the Lord. Hari Sadavaset Tatra. Even Lord Hari personally said this. Yatra Gayanti Mad Bhakta Tatra Tishtami Narada. Naham Tishtami Vaikunthe Sadhuna Hridaye Shiva. He said, I don't stay in Vaikuntha. I don't stay in the hearts of sadhus. Of course, we should not take it literally. Lord Vishnu stays in Vaikuntha also. Okay, he stays in the hearts of sadhus also. But out of his excitement, the Lord says, I prefer to stay in a place where my devotees are chanting my glories. Right? That's the best place. So I don't stay in Vaikuntha. That does not mean that he doesn't stay in Vaikuntha. This means that in Vaikuntha also devotees are chanting the glories of the Lord. Okay, in Vaikuntha devotees constantly chant the glories of the Lord. That's why the Lord stays in Vaikuntha. Right? Otherwise, how can it be called Vaikuntha? Okay, so there is a shloka. Vaimanika salalanascharitāni shashvat gayanti yatra shamalaha kshapanani bhartuh antarjalenu vikasan madhumadhavina gandhena khandita dhiyo pyanilam kshipantah Vaimanika salalanaha charitani shashvat. All the residents of Vaikuntha are traveling in their golden airplanes along with their consorts, and they are doing what? Gayanti. They are constantly chanting the glories of Lord Hari. That's what they are doing there. Vaikuntha chanting is going on. That's why Vishnu is staying there also. Okay. So, but wherever we chant, the Lord is there, and that place becomes Vaikuntha. Sixth shloka. Aho Aho Dukkham Mahadukkham Dukkha Dukkataram Yata Kachartham Vismritam Ratna Harer Namaiva Kevalam. Aho Dukkham Mahadukkham. What a great sorrow. When Pandavas went to Bhishma, Bhishma said, Aho Kashtam, Aho Anyayam Yadyuyam Dharmanandana. So many difficulties he had to face in this material world. So the Lord makes even devotees undergo so many difficulties for various reasons. We'll discuss them some other time. But one reason is to demonstrate that the material world is a place of miseries. Even people like Yudhishthira also had to face reversals, right? So material world, the nature of the material world is that it is a place of miseries, place of envy, place of difficulties. So aho dukkham mahadukkham dukkha dukkataram yataha. In two small lines, 4 times dukkha word comes. More painful than any other misery in this material world. What is that pain? Real pain. Mistaking it as a mere piece of glass, the people have forgotten this jewel, the holy name of Krishna. So definitely there are adhyatmika kleshas, adi bhautika kleshas, adi devika kleshas. So many difficulties are there in this world. So many causes of sorrow are there. But the greatest pitiable situation, lamentable situation of a person is to not value the holy name of the Lord. That is the greatest sorrow. To forget this jewel, getting attracted to broken pieces of glasses. That is the greatest sorrow. Okay. Next. Diyatam karno niyatam vachah Giyatam nityam Harer namaiva kevalam. Diyatam karno. We should use our ears to hear the holy name of Krishna repeatedly. Niyatam vachaha. We should use our voice to utter the holy name of Krishna over and over, again and again. Giyatam nityam. We should perpetually sing the glories of the holy names of the Lord, ever fresh. That's why Harer namaiva kevalam. Fine. So last shloka. Trini kritya jagat sarvam rajate sakalopari chidanandamayam shodham Harer namaiva kevalam. Trini kritya jagat sarvam. It makes the entire universe seem trina. Trinadapi Sunichana we discussed in the morning, right? We should be humbler than a blade of grass. So from one side we should feel humbler than a blade of grass. And in such a situation, entire universe becomes a blade of grass for us. Right? So when we humble ourselves in front of Krishna, this magnificent big material world looks like a blade of grass for us. Nothing in this material world seems exciting to us because we take pleasure in the holy name of the Lord. Trinikritya jagat sarvam. Entire jagat becomes trina. Rajate sakalopari. This holy name of Lord Hari splendorously reigns over everything else in the material world. Chidanandamayam shuddham. It is filled with eternal bliss, and shuddham, it is completely pure. Harer namaiva kevalam. So let us take shelter of holy name. So Sanatana Goswami says in Brihad Bhagavatam, he says, no other anga of bhakti is possible without chanting. You take anything. In that, some chanting of Krishna's name is present. You're reading Bhagavatam, one anga. So many names of Krishna are passing by, isn't it? We are chanting, we are doing deity worship. So many mantras you have to chant. Krishna's name is there everywhere. They are doing Dham Seva. Yes, definitely there is chanting of the holy name there. We are doing Vaishnava Seva. All Vaishnavas are named after the Lord. Somebody is Krishna Das, somebody is Madhava Das, somebody is Govinda Das, somebody is Radha Dasi, whatever. So the holy names of the Lord are there everywhere. In all other limbs, not only potent limbs, all other limbs have holy names. So there are no rules for this chanting. One day some devotee was trying to control his propensity to chant the holy names of the Lord to while attending nature calls. Okay, he was thinking, oh, it's a very unclean place. I'm doing an unclean activity. How can I chant? But my tongue is constantly chanting. He was holding his tongue, not allowing the tongue to chant the holy name while attending nature calls. And that Gopal came and said that, what is the assurance that you will not die while attending nature calls? Right? If you die while attending nature calls, and if you practice not to chant while attending nature calls, where will you go? So there is no rules and there are no regulations to chant the holy names of Krishna. Of course, certain mantras are there. There are certain rules and regulations applied to them, Pancharatrika Vidhis. But as far as chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is concerned, there are absolutely no rules and regulations. One can always chant. Okay. So even if my body is cut into pieces and I lose my life, I will never give up chanting the Lord's holy name. Haridas Thakur says. There are some inspiring quotes for you. I may not take through all these quotes. One important quote by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. As you run your hands over your Japamala, think that you are touching Gauranga's lotus feet. That's how we should chant. We should think. Mind also is engaged. Of course, from another perspective, morning also we were discussing. Prabhupada says that with your tongue you chant, with your ears you hear. Where is the question of mind here? that is to, like, we should not use the mind in chanting to think of 100 different things. That's the emphasis there. But to think of Lord Gauranga's lotus feet, it's not an offense while chanting. To think of Radha Krishna, to think of to see the form of the Lord so that you can get more focus, that is fine. But we should not use the mind while chanting to think of 100 different disconnected things. Okay, that take away our focus from the holy name. Right? We need to understand the spirit of the instruction. So you should think of Gaurasundar's lotus feet. He says, just like a miser continuously counts and counts and counts and remembers how much money he has, a devotee similarly collects and counts and remembers the holy names of God. So there are a few things, a few thoughts. I think I am 10 minutes beyond time. Sorry, Prabhu. Thank you very much. We'll conclude here. Harinam Prabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And just one last disclaimer. Although I spoke the glories of the holy name of the Lord, I'm also struggling to keep my focus in chanting. So I'm confessing in front of all of you. I'm also struggling to focus on the holy name. And by your blessings, if you are pleased with me, please give me some blessings so that I can chant better tomorrow and every day. So I really beg your blessings so that I can chant the holy names of Krishna with the concentration, with focus, in the mode of service. Not in a ritualistic manner. So this is my prayer to all of you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Ji, thank you very much.